Although nuclear energy is a good source of power, it also has its disadvantages. First off, I want to start explaining how nuclear energy works. The first operable plant opened in 1957. There are now 104 plants operating today. Nuclear energy is used to create electricity in nuclear weapons. Plutonium-235 is used as fuel. The fuel is split during the fission process, which is the splitting of the atom. This process heats water in the reactor, which creates steam, powering a turbine, creating electricity. Some pros and cons to nuclear energy are that, like I said before, it's a very effective energy source. But an accident is not needed to create a problem with nuclear energy. The waste alone is enough to damage the environment. 99% of the spent reused reactor fuel has a half-life of a few hundred years. A half-life means it will be half as radioactive as it was before the half-life itself. The other 1% of the used reactor fuel has a half-life of thousands of years. This means that it will still be extremely dangerous thousands of years after it is used. Some major nuclear accidents are Krishnan of the USSR. In 1957, an explosion of the high-activity waste tank occurred. This spread radiation throughout Russia. It was a level 6 disaster, the third worst disaster to date, caused by nuclear energy. 270,000 people were exposed to radiation. Windscale in Great Britain of 1957. A fire occurred in the reactor core. It released a substantial amount of radiation into the environment. 3 Mile Island, closest to home, right here in Pennsylvania, in 1979, a reactor meltdown caused by loss of coolant, a large radiation release occurred. No deaths were reported, but high instances of leukemia were reported downwind of 3 Mile Island, years to come. The biggest disaster to date is Chernobyl. The meltdown was caused by the shutdown of safety systems to perform a test of safety. A radioactive cloud sent 3,280 feet into the air. Imagine walking outside your house and seeing that. This spread radiation over the Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. 56 deaths occurred immediately, and 4,000 caused by thyroid cancer occurred later, and are still happening today. That number is still climbing. Fukushima, Japan, 2011, the most recent, and as we've all seen it on the news. After the earthquake and tsunami, a meltdown was caused. Everyone was safe. People were washed clean of the radiation. So what happens when you get radiation poisoning? Radiation causes thyroid cancer, skin disease, respiratory ailments, heart problems, and death. Potassium iodine can be used to prevent thyroid cancer. In conclusion, we must find new sustainable energy that does not harm people or the environment. We must find safe places to store the waste that will remain radioactive and dangerous for hundreds to thousands of years. We are not yet capable of handling such technology due to human error and just the fact that we do not know enough about this.